Hello, and welcome to Candidates Up Front. This is a public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Our May 16th primary election is coming up. Democrats and Republicans will vote for judges, school directors, and county, township, borough, and city officials. The deadline to register to vote is May 1st. To check your voting status, go to votepa.gov. That's vote.pa.gov. You can register, change your party, locate your polling place, or apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. The deadline to register is May 1st. The deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot is May 9th. The League is interviewing those candidates who wanted to be interviewed in contested races. For each race, the candidates will get the same basic questions and the same amount of time to answer them. Hello, I'm Judith Cranis, a member of the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Tonight we're talking about Reading School Director, and there are 6 candidates on the Democratic ballot for a chance to be the Reading School Director. You will be voting for 5, and those 5 names will be on the fall ballot then as well. And they are Shakia Yarira Del Rio Gonzalez, Noeline Betts, Melissa Eggert, Julio C. Martinez, Mark Detterline, and Albriani Rivas. And you, as I said, you're voting for 4. You're voting for 5 of the 6 when you go to vote on May 19th. Now, this is what school directors do. They govern the school district. They set policy. They establish the curricula. They adopt a budget. And that budget will determine the tax rate necessary to support it. So these are positions that have to do with your wallet and how much you value the school services. They select a superintendent, and they approve appointments of staff. And about half the board is elected at each municipal election. These people serve part-time, but they put in a lot of hours. They are not paid for their work, and the term is 4 years. And before we start, I did want to note that the opinions expressed by the candidate are not necessarily those of the League or those of the Berks Community Television. They're the candidate's views. And our interview today is with Julio Martinez. Welcome, Mr. Martinez.
Welcome. It's great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invite.
Well, let's start with our first question, which is to please tell our viewers about yourself and why you're running for school board.
Like you said, my name is Julio C. Martinez. This is going to be my 8th year on the Reading School Board. I've been living here in the city since I'm 12 years old. I love my city. I love what the city stands for. I love working in the city. I love helping the city with volunteering work and whatnot. So again, like I said, this will be my eighth year serving on the board. So I've been serving 2 terms when I'm done in 2023. My wife's name is Lisette, and I have 2 grown kids, and I have two lovely grandkids.
Mm-hmm. And tell us how your background, even before the school board, how did that prepare you for being a school director?
Well, I am a military man, a veteran. I served this country for about eight years. So I know what it is to work together, to make tough decisions, not only as a military man, but also as a father, as a husband, as a parent. We got to make some tough decisions, and also working in the community, helping in the nonprofit agencies, serving on different boards, which I'm doing right now. So those things help me to make better choices, to make the life of our citizens better, and to help our citizens as a whole.
Now, we know that schools deal with all the problems that society has. Poverty exists, hunger exists, emotional illness, drug abuse, and the pandemic has certainly taken its toll on our children. What responsibility does the school board have to address these issues?
Well, as a school board, we work alongside administration. As you know well, administration comes to us with policies, comes to us with problems, situations. They come to us with what they think will work in the schools throughout the Reading School District. So the responsibility of the school board and administration is to work alongside our partners to deal with some of these situations that you're talking about. You know, the poverty, the hunger, the emotional illness, the drug abuse. We have many, many partners in this city. We have many nonprofit agencies in this city that deal with these issues. So administration and the school board our jobs is to find out which of these agencies can help our students, how they can better help the students, not only the students, but also the parents, because also the parents need to get involved with these issues. Because sometimes some of these issues that we deal with at school are homebred, because, you know, a lot of our kids come from dysfunctional parents, you know, households. They come from households where drugs are used on a daily basis. So what they see the parents do, that's what they learn. Also peer pressure. You know, peer pressure in our students is tremendous because you want to belong to a group, especially if you're from a dysfunctional home. So peer pressure can push you to either, you know, use drugs, you know, and it becomes a habit, and it becomes a sickness. So I believe that with the help of the school board administration and all our partners, we can help with these issues.
Mm-hmm. And my next question, you answered part of it. Are there other issues you think the school board needs to address? And you talked about that with drug dependency. So are there other things you think the school board needs to find those partners for, find the resources to help the children and the parents?
Yes, one of the things that we have discussed is, you know, gang violence in this school. Even maybe parents don't know about it, maybe some of the folks don't know about it, but, you know, gangs exist in and out of the school. So that's one thing that the school district needs to address. Also, the behavior of our students. There's been many videos posted that people have seen where kids, their behavior, especially fights during school hours, you know, some of the users of drugs like marijuana during, you know, school hours. These are the things that we need to address in the district. So again, we have put policies in places with the help of the school administrators. The board has voted on these policies to help deal with, you know, some of these issues.
Mm-hmm. One of the other issues is that parents often move during the school year, maybe just to a different place in the city, but it's still, the child is in a new school, and that can be disruptive. What can be done to give these students stability? Especially at the elementary grades, I think that would make a big difference.
Well, as you know, we have a very transient population. Like you said, they move from place to place, or families that move into the city, or families that are moving from place to place. One of the things that the school district has done is that in every single elementary school, they're teaching the same thing, the same subjects. So when a child moves, say, from 13th and Green to Millmont, he or she is not going to miss a bit, you know, in their studies because they're teaching the same thing. Yes, it might be a new teacher, it might be new students, but the subjects are still the same. So that child is not going to miss on their studies.
So something is familiar. They're at the same place in the same textbook, and
that is
things like
correct.
that.
And then again, some of these students might find out that when they get to their school, they might have some friends there
Yeah, they may.
that they don't know. Yeah,
and that always helps. When you
Yes.
see a familiar face, it always helps.
correct.
How can schools address the learning needs of students who may be from other cultures or other languages?
Well, that is a difficult one for me. Me being Hispanic, but when I started school way back when I was 12 years old, and I came from Puerto Rico, the one thing that the school did, they put me in a class where everybody spoke Spanish, until I learned the language, which was very helpful. I don't know. Would have to look into it to see if that's what the school administrators do, the Reading School District does, if they put kids that come from different countries in their own room. I would think they do, but I can't say for certainly. So I don't want to overspeak on the
I
subject.
think they're
but
still
yeah.
using that same model of giving you instruction in your language as you build the skills to get the instruction in English. I think the same. It might not be exactly like that. I think it's still very similar what you had, and that worked for you. You thought?
It did. It did. Now the thing was that when I came here, the United States, I did know the language, but because I was, in a sense, I wouldn't say ashamed, but I was afraid if I spoke the language with my accent, the other kids would make fun of me. So I did not speak the language as often as I should have, even in class. So I stuck to my own language because that was more familiar to me, and I did not get made fun of because of my accent.
What are your thoughts on the school district's programs for special education and gifted students?
Reading School District has an awesome program for special education and gifted students. Whenever we have the special gifted programs directors come speak to us on our board meetings, and they give a presentation of where they're at, what are they doing for the kids, the teachers that are available for the programs, and also parents have their testimonies have spoken very highly of our programs. Is the gifted program perfectly? No, but the one thing that we have a problem with, just like any other school system or any school district, is teachers. We lack teachers, especially in the gifted programs. So the Reading School District is doing the best that they can with what we have, and we're always trying to hire, just like any other school district does, trying to hire new teachers. But we're working on it. But I believe that we have a really, really good program in the Reading School District.
Thank you. And do you advocate any changes to the curriculum? A change could either add something or subtract something.
At the moment, I don't. I think we have good curriculums in the Reading School District. I wish, the one thing that I would like is maybe the classes to be a little longer.
Kids probably would agree with you on that one.
Yes. But because of the amount of students that we have and classes and programs that we have, in the school district, and I'm pretty sure in all the school districts are probably the same. That cannot be possible. But no, I believe the subjects and the curriculums that we have right now are very good. There is times when they present to us. Ms. Wanda Crespo, she presents to us a new curriculum or a change in the curriculum because that particular curriculum is is not working or attracting as many students. So what they do is they change the curriculum, bring what can work, and then we as a board, we vote on the change.
And what is your view of the role of charter schools in education?
Well, charter schools are good if they do what they're supposed to do. Years back, and this is no secret, we had to close a charter school because they were not doing what they were supposed to do. So there's many people that advocate for charter schools, and they say they work, you know. But I believe if your child needs a better education because they're not getting it at the high school level or whatever level they're in, charter schools could be good for you. But if your kid is getting bullied, is that a reason for you to move that child to a charter school? No. But if that child is lacking education at the school that he or she's in, then move them to a charter school that is doing their job. But if that charter school is failing the students that they have there, they're not meeting their requirements by the Department of Education, then they shouldn't be there, period. But if they're doing their job and the kids are getting educated and the kids are moving on to college and the kids are persevering in college and moving on to their next, chapter in their life, then I say yes. But if they're not, then they shouldn't be there and they should be closed.
Okay. We're going to have to move a little faster to make sure we get through all the questions.
Sure.
And I was going to mention the recent court suit that says our schools are not funded adequately or the funding is discriminatory in the way it works out. And Reading, of course, is one of the most underfunded in the state. So there should be some additional funds in the state budget. In 30 seconds, what do you think is the most important thing to spend that money on?
I'll do it in 10 seconds. Education.
Okay.
Our kids need to get educated from pre-K all the way through high school.
Okay. And what should the district do to prepare students to join the workforce? Are we doing the right things?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Real quickly, when I was in school, I went to RMCTC. For 3 years, I took baking and cooking. It was a wonderful experience for me. I did half a year at the school and half a year RMCTC. I loved the teachers. I loved the experience that I had there, and that prepared for my next role, which it was in cooking and baking. But because other circumstances, I needed to find something better, so I ended up being in the military. But the district is doing what they can to prepare their kids, their students, to join the workforce. Now, it is up to that student
to make the
decision to join the programs that will available them to get into the workforce.
Well, let me ask the same thing for the students going on to college. Are we doing the right things to prepare them? And again, we'll try to do this in 30 seconds, so you have more time for your statement.
I believe that we are.
Good.
Yes, I believe that we are. Again, college is not for every student.
No, certainly not.
And that's why we have trade schools. But those that want to go to college in the Reading School District, we are preparing them for that next step. Now, not every student is going to go to Penn State. Not every student is going to go, to Shippensburg. But there are great colleges here like Albright, Alvernia,
Reading Area Community College.
Yeah,
great job.
Of course, so you don't have to go far from home and spend a lot of money, and you're still going to get a good education here at home.
Okay. Again, we have to do this in 30 seconds. I'm sorry, but what are the main things you want to accomplish if you're elected?
Well, one is I want to finish what we started eight years ago. Which is to make the Reading School District one of the best schools around, to make sure that kids and parents are proud to call themselves Red Knight proud. I want to make sure that you know, the kids get educated, you know, a better education every single day. They can be proud to make sure that they are Reading students and they're proud of their school and their city.
And I guess with that, we're ready for your closing statement. And again, I think we have about 30 seconds, maybe 25.
Well, I just want to say
Ended too quick.
thank you for having me. I know I probably took some little time in some of the questions, and maybe I did not express myself a little better in some of the questions. But I just want to say to all the voters, please get out and vote. Whether you vote for me or vote for the other candidates, whether you're voting for the mayor, whoever you're voting for, please get out and vote. Your vote counts. Your opinion counts. What you have to say counts. Don't stay home. Get out and vote. You can make a difference.
Thank you very much. And we thank you, Julio, for sharing your views. I do have to remind our voters that there are other candidates on the ballot. I'm not going to go through them all now, but you will find all that information on vote411.org. And I want to thank you for watching Candidates Up Front. You will find the Candidates Up Front interviews on BCTV and on its website and its YouTube page. And for more information on candidates, you can go to the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. Or you can contact Berks County Election Services, elections@countyofberks.com. Their phone number is 610-478-6490. And thank you for watching Candidates Up Front.